Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. This week I am back in Chicago, back with my buddy Gary Bahnick, who is also an awesome street photographer, and we were in the Pilsen neighborhood. And if you don't know, Pilsen is a traditionally Hispanic neighborhood full of culture, full of life, full of saturated colors and interesting people. I got some amazing shots that I'm really excited to share with you guys today. So many characters, so many interesting people. I met an artist who does street art, murals, that kind of thing. Went to the Jumping Bean Cafe, which is famous in the Chicagoland area for their coffee and pastries. And yeah, just overall had a great time shooting. Even met some people that were brand new to Chicago, migrants from Venezuela. Communication was a little bit of an issue, but they knew the world-renowned sign for take a picture. So, and they were cool with it, so I got their picture, and yeah, it's one of my favorites of the bunch today. So, all right, so sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the video, enjoy the images, and be sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, everybody, here we go. Like we always do, I met Gary up at the Aurora train station where we caught the 802 express train into Chicago. Once we get seated, I usually check out my camera, set all the settings where I want it to be for the day, and then I can't help myself. I start to shoot a little bit right there on the train. I was really liking the light on this woman a couple rows in front of me, so I took a shot. I love it when you start to be able to see the skyline. You know you're getting close, start to get excited, and you know that Union Station is not too far away. From Union Station, it's just a short walk to the L platform where we needed to take the pink line, which would take us down to the Pilsen neighborhood. The next 6 images I shot on that short walk, and this first one here is just going up the steps. As you can see, I just like the colors, the saturation, and a little bit of the chaoticness of the city. This one, as you can see, the gentleman was just checking me out. I just like the pose, the body language, the facial language, and yeah, I just kind of like this image, especially in black and white. This one is another, you know, it's chaotic, right? Just the look in her face, she looks a little frazzled. I like how I have it composed on the angle like that. It just adds a little more chaoticness to it. And now this one is quiet, right? Found this quiet scene looking down. Traveler with his bag looking at his phone. I love the light, love the dark on the left, the light on the right. This one's another chaotic one, and again working that angle. Very, very interesting to me. I like the contrasty look and feel of the chaotic image. Another quiet one. I think this is actually that same traveler. I kind of followed him down. I had a elevated view of him, so I could kind of follow him a little bit. And again, just like the angles and the dark and light of this image. Alright, so now we are on the pink line heading down the Pilsen, and I always have my camera ready and I'm always aware of my surroundings. And on the train, I just noticed these 2 women, one to the front left of me and one to the right of me, and the images couldn't be any more different. And this is really where I started to notice a trend in the images of this trip, and that trend is pretty much, I was seeing quiet and chaos through all of the images, and I think you'll see what I mean. This image, she's peacefully and quietly just waiting on the train to get to her stop and get to wherever she's going. And then in this next image, there's anything but peace and quiet in this image. And if I'm being totally honest, this was a difficult image to shoot because I have no idea what this woman's going through or what her life is like. And maybe it's, great, and she just worked a night shift and she's tired and, ready to get home. But I did like the composition and the unknown story that goes with this image. All right, we are off the train now and starting to see some of the colors and saturation and culture of what you would expect to see in the Pilsen neighborhood. All right, so me and Gary, we've got a routine, and basically what that is once we get to our destination, we start with a beautiful cup of coffee, sometimes the Danish, sometimes breakfast, whatever. And today's stop was at the Cafe Jumping Bean in the Pilsen neighborhood, and it's very, very popular in Pilsen, but also all around Chicago. People come from all around the city to enjoy their coffee and their Danishes. Speaking of Danishes, check this thing out. I got this chocolate chip muffin and don't tell my wife, but this is probably the best muffin that I've ever had. So we took a seat out in front of the cafe and enjoyed the morning sun, the light breeze, and basically everything that the community just had to offer. It was lots of good scenery and just a good time. And of course we enjoyed those muffins, and for me I think it was a caramel latte. I shot this one looking back into the cafe through the glass. I think he's actually an employee. He was just sitting there and he was cool with me taking his picture, so I took this shot here. Then we ran into these two guys here. The guy in the front here, he is a local artist. He does murals, and he was a very interesting guy. We talked to him for a little bit, and he showed us a lot of his drawings. He said he drew them all the night before, and they are all potential murals for the Pilsen area. I was thinking to myself, what would be better than to take a picture of an artist's hands? And actually turns out that this is one of my favorite images, if not my favorite, of this whole day. I then walked over to this underpass where it was heavily graffitied up, and just wanted to get some shots over there. I'll just let you see this video here. Really quite a scene. My new artist friend just happened to walk over into this same area. So I snapped this shot here. I actually think I got this one with my M50. We then walked just a little bit further, only a block or a couple of blocks down, where Gary knew of a big mural about Palestine and kind of a political thing, and said that I would take a shot of it. I saw this puddle that was in front, and so I got down hands and knees and tried to bring that puddle into the image. I was actually hoping for a better reflection in this shot, but the wind was blowing the water on the puddle too much. I think I could go back to Pilsen like every weekend and find something different and something more interesting than the week before to shoot. It's just everywhere you look, there is something interesting and cultural and colorful. And like this scene here, we walk up on it and there's these bicycles hanging from the fence, and had to shoot that. just something interesting, and I did like the colors, saturation, and the interest of the bikes hanging there. This guy here, he was very hesitant to go in front of my lens and, you know, run basically through my scene. I encouraged him to go ahead because I loved his sweatshirt and his hat and the look on his face. And yeah, that shot just turned out great, especially again in black and white. This one here is, we saw this scene walking down the street, and to me it's just an environmental portrait. This window is really close to where those bikes were hanging on the fence. I just liked, again, the chaoticness of this image. Christmas lights on the inside coupled with the reflection of the branches overhead on the outside just makes for like a nice little chaotic black and white image. We ran into these two on the elevator down from the L train, and though communication was difficult, they were pretty clear about having just gotten to Chicago from Venezuela. And you can see the look in the son's eyes. He was very hesitant to try to communicate with us until the mom saw my camera, and she was actually asking me to take their picture, which I thought was pretty cool. Then it was back to the train to head back towards Union Station, where I shot this image of Gary, which is another nice little quiet image for the day. Then this girl's hair really caught my eye. I wanted to get a shot of it, and then I just did the selective color to kind of balance things out between the braids and the vehicle on the street. I needed to have at least one image that just shouted Pilsen Neighborhood, so I shot this one. Then I saw this character and I found it very interesting, and I loved the tones, I loved the light. I also liked how the barricades bring the eye through the image, so I took this shot kind of from the hip, and I like it. I wish there was a little more separation. I think I shot this one at f8, f9. A little more bokeh would have done this one a favor. Now, we see this guy every time we go into Chicago. He's a homeless guy, and we talk to him. We usually give him a little bit of something every time we see him. He's okay with us taking his picture. And like that image of the artist, I just love his hands, and wanted to make sure I got a shot kind of featuring his hands. So here we go. Alright, so that's going to do it for another video. Thank you all very much for stopping by the channel. I really appreciate it. And you all know the drill. Like it if you did. Subscribe if you haven't. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And with that, I am Garrick. I am your very best buddy in the whole wide world. So we'll see you next time, everyone. We'll see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.